We're dodgeball fighting in the house.
Alright, well, we are recording for the later version. Oh, and I might as well, I'm just gonna go live, so.
Yay!
Alright, we should be live now with Two Wheel Tuesday podcast number 72. I put it wrong on the thing online, I put 71. But you gotta expect that from dirt bikers. We're here with Brad O'Neill, otherwise known as Bradley Slums. Is that correct so far?
Yeah, that's correct. Bradley O'Neill, Instagram, Bradley Slums.
How did you give yourself that name?
Yeah, pretty much. Just after living in a van for 3 years, it kind of flowed.
There you go. Why did Okay, so I have a lot of questions because we don't really know you at all, other than you huck big ass stuff and then jump off of your motorcycle.
I figured there'd be a lot of questions.
So, did you ride moto? Did you grow up riding moto, or are you like a base jumper, like that thought I could jump off something big?
No, so I just got my headphones. You want me to set this up?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Alright, we're gonna do this real quick.
That's not gonna sit here
Okay.
anymore. This is something.
Just switch that over here.
Got her under control.
Yeah. Alright. Let me see here. I think I got it.
Hold up.
Perfect.
Getting it rigged up. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Very good.
Alright, we're cool. Sorry, Austin. Alright, what was the question again? Sorry, I forgot.
So did you grow up riding? Or are you a base jumper that decides you could jump off of stuff?
I grew up riding. I started riding when I was 5 years old. I rode just my whole life ever since then. I started racing at like 7 years old, and then me and my dad did the amateur national circuit and all that crap, and never really did that good. I wasn't like a super competitive dude growing up, but you didn't riding dirt bikes if you want to ride dirt bikes. It's kind of like racing was the thing to do back then. So I spent a lot of years racing. I got over racing kind of the time I found skydiving and base jumping, which was around like in 18, 19. I started really getting into that stuff, and I just like free rode and base jumped and skydived for fun for a while. And
how old are you now?
Kind of. I'm old. I'm 31.
Oh, you're so old.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm 39, and what are you, Nick? 36 or something?
I think 35. Exaggerating.
Like 35, yeah.
How do you get into base jumping? Like, who do you find to do that shit?
Well, I got into skydiving because I wanted to be a base jumper. But the thing was, everyone, like, to teach you, they require you to have like 100 to 200 skydives usually. So they want you to learn how to fly a parachute before someone's going to teach you how to base jump, because that's like how you die is usually with that stuff. So I just learned how to skydive just so I could base jump. And that was it. I just I went on just a tandem skydive. How I got into skydiving was I was just dating this girl who wanted to go on her birthday. Me and my homie and her all went on a skydive. It was really, I had a good time. I was like, I want to do this shit as like something to do. And I just kind of spent all the money I could on becoming a skydiver, like licensed, so I could do it. And basically, once I had about 102 skydives, I bought a base rig and learned how to pack it, and I just went and started base jumping, which isn't the way you're supposed to do it, but I did, and then that led me into getting mostly like kind of in trouble by a lot of like local badass base jumpers in the area that I was doing that in, and they just kind of took me in to keep me alive and not burn all their objects, because they're like, well, this guy's gonna kill himself and fuck it up, and it's gonna, like, the cops are gonna be all on us. So I just, like, by doing that, I got in with the good guys, and they taught me, and it kind of worked out. So yeah,
Forged your way in. I like that.
yeah, I forced it in for sure, but it turned out for the good for sure. But looking back, it was definitely the first few were really, really sketchy and scary. But
What'd you do your first two on? Like, what'd you jump off of? What was your first one?
my first base jump was off this bridge in Arizona, which was super gnarly. I've been there like 5 times since then, since my first jump, and I jumped it there on my first day, landed in the landing area I chose, absolutely perfect, like totally good. And ever since then, I've gone back, and it's never been like a good jump. It's always been hella sketchy, and I like landed in the river one time. I'm like, how the fuck did I do this when I had no idea what I was doing? And it was just pure luck. I don't know. Somehow I got through it, but nowadays it's not that sketchy. I actually know what's going on, but
But yeah, more some of the jumps you could tell just by the way you're in control when you land. Because the one it looked like you were hauling ass down in Caneville, I think it was. You were coming in hot, and then you just, I mean, I don't know. I'm like, you must know.
Yeah. The Caneville one, the last one I just did, that was actually the second time I've done that jump. I did it like, I think it was like a year ago before this one, maybe a year and a half or so, and it was hella sketchy. Like, I almost died on that one. The bike was like, yeah, the bike like I barely got high enough like for my parachute to open. No way a bike parachute would open. The bike like broke in half, and I literally had like a 1 second parachute ride before I pounded into the ground pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that was sketchy.
Hey Nick, back up off your microphone a little bit.
I don't know where it is. Hey, let me try something real quick.
Or put something over it.
Well, I gotta see which. I don't know what fucking microphone I'm using.
Cover your
What
whole
about-
computer so we can't see you again.
Is that is that better?
Talk.
Is that better?
Now you talk, Brad.
Check 1, 2. Good.
Yeah. Just be quiet, Nick.
I've been drinking vodka since 6. Pumped up.
Alright.
The bass jump gets me excited.
Right. It has that effect on everybody.
So this last bike was totally fine. You could just fired it up and rode it away?
Yeah, I did 2 jumps that day. The video I posted or the little edit that I posted first was the just clips from the first jump that day. But I did 2 back to back with that same bike off of different lips, off of different jumps. One that the original planned jump I had that I did, and then one that Tom Parsons found while we were out there free riding. And I went over and scoped it out. He wanted to show me, and it turned out to actually be doable. So I packed up and did it again.
Damn.
And it was golden. Yeah, the Dune one it's so fun. That's the most fun that I've had doing any of these. Like, they've all been scary as fuck, really, really scary. But that one those 2 were so fun. Like, just way less stressful than most of them have been. So I'm pretty stoked to actually go back and do some more. I got a lot more options over there with that stuff.
So it's just you just found a tall ass sand dune?
I mean, kind of. There's like a little bit of like a science that goes into it for sure. But I use a couple pieces of equipment that like the wingsuit skydivers and base jumpers use. It's like a GPS tracking system called a fly sight, and it tells you like basically it gives you exact location on like your speeds, your drop, your glide, basically a full GPS track down of what you're doing. Like, if once you turn it on, you ride a segment, and then you turn it off, you can go scope that, and you can lay it over like a Google Earth map, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on, so you can map out your lines. And
So you ride it on your bike, you wear it or something, have it in your pocket and ride the line?
Yeah, I have it tied to me or tied to the bike usually, and I ride the features that I think may be possible moto base jumps. And then after that, we take it and we put it in the computer and download that, and then we look at it and see if the angles and the height and everything's there. And if everything's within a certain percentage on degrees and altitude, then it makes it a possible moto base jump, and then I can go do it.
Jeez.
Legit. But it's usually not just like, oh, sick, this is a dope jump, let's go boost it.
Right.
Because there's a lot to it for sure.
Yeah.
But
what's the amount of
yeah,
drop?
that's the method I use.
What's the amount of drop that you need? Like what's your height? What's the minimum height that you need to have in order for your chute to open?
Well, so there's a lot of different ways. Like today, me and Claire just did a base jump on the beach this morning down in San Diego, and the cliff was only like 125 feet tall. You know what I mean? Like the sand dune I jumped was like 200 feet tall. You know, but it's not a cliff. There's no sheer point where you can just fall. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta shoot out past the angle.
You gotta basically make it sheer. So I can do base jumps. I've done base jumps from like sub 120 feet, just a normal standing like free fall base jump, right? But the thing that opens the parachute is wind, and it doesn't really matter like if you're building that wind by falling off of a cliff or if you're building wind by traveling at like 70 miles an hour forward on a dirt bike. You get what I'm saying? So the parachute will open with a certain amount of wind in a certain amount of time.
So you technically don't need as high if you're going that fast.
Exactly. So what I'm doing is I know where those limits are with the numbers. So I'm finding jumps that are basically my goal with this stuff is turning dirt bike jumps into base jumps. You know what I mean? That's why all the comments are always like, why don't you go off something huge or a big cliff or something? It's like, I'm not going to go ride my dirt bike off of a base jump because that's just a fucking base jump. Who gives a shit? I want to go jump my dirt bike into base jumps. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to go jump off a wingsuit cliff because that's just a wingsuit base jump, and who gives a shit?
Right,
you know what I mean? That's like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's cool. You could ride a tricycle off there. Like, I want to need to jump it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I actually thought a long time ago, I was with a dude that was really good at physics, and I'd asked him, I was like, hey, if I built like a 60-foot quarter pipe, I said, would I go high enough to base jump? Which I don't know, I've never done it or anything. And there was like a 30-second window where I understood algebra because he explained it that way.
Yeah.
And then some other nerd hopped in and was like, so you mean blah, blah, blah. And then they started talking gibberish and I couldn't get it. But when he was explaining, he's like, yo, for every mile an hour you go vertical, or for every like second you travel vertical, you're going to lose 33 miles an hour and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's a negative impact of gravity, yeah. You definitely could. You definitely can make a ramp big enough to do a base jump off of. That's actually a huge goal of mine is to do that, to build, a ramp and be able to do that. Ultimately, like, maybe in a live, like, format would be sick, but I definitely want to do that, and that is totally possible. Not quite a 60-foot ramp, but around that ballpark for sure.
Yeah.
A quarter pipe wouldn't be
super loud.
Because with a quarter pipe you're not going to have any forward speed.
Nick.
Yeah, I'm trying.
We can't hear him at all. Hold on, Brad.
Get out. I don't know what's up with my. Can you hear me now? I had headphones on.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
But you're super
Am I too loud?
Yeah. You need to be less loud, Brett, because I got to turn it up to get. You guys are coming through in the same thing, so if you guys are different volumes, like I can't adjust it between the two of you. Nah, mean.
How's that work?
All right, now you talk, Brad.
What up?
Okay, there you go.
Got me?
Closer. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, sometimes we have kid break-ins, and then
That's all good.
all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
What the hell were you saying? We were talking about, you're basically figuring out where you can, the sweet spot of making it still be a dirt bike jump, but something that you can base jump at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where I left off, you talking about the ramp, doing the quarter pipe.
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
And I was just saying that's totally possible, and it's something I want to do. Not quite a quarter pipe because that setting would be pretty hard to get the parachute out with no forward speed because you're just going straight up and straight down on
You
a quarter
need
pipe.
total hang time.
Yeah. Yeah, you need like some forward momentum and height. So building a big ass ramp, basically like, a big freestyle ramp that was massive, would totally be doable, and that's something I want to do. I mean, that's like a big goal of mine later on in life is to hopefully get to do that. I kind of did it already. At my dad, me and my dad built this big 65-foot ramp at his house like a few years ago, and I did it into this pond, and but
I saw that one.
Yeah,
a 65-foot tall ramp? Oh yeah, that thing. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was like half dirt, and then I built a 25-foot tall ramp on top of it. It was pretty sketchy, but it was really sketchy.
Was that the first one on a bike?
That was the first one where someone jumped a dirt bike high enough to base jump, but it wasn't the first dirt bike parachute jump for sure. They've been I think the first guy did it in the 1900 something, 1930 something.
Really?
Yeah, off this cliff in Malibu. I think he died, but I don't know. It was pretty gnarly.
So is he technically the first one then?
Oh yeah, he was definitely the first one. He beat me by 100 and something years, yeah, or almost 100 years, yeah.
Was this your first one though?
No, that was my. What was that one? I think that was number 3.
That's the first one I remember seeing though. I just
yeah.
You guys were teasing with this picture for a while.
Yeah, that was the first one that I did, where I jumped high enough. I didn't use a cliff or a hill or anything, that was totally flat ground at sea level, and we just built a big-ass jump. That was the first one like that, and but I think it was my 3rd moto base jump.
What is that? Is that ramp metal?
Yeah, it is metal. It's actually a bunch of cattle gates, fences that my dad's neighbor's a cattle rancher, so he had all this big paneling for these fences.
Yeah.
And he just gave me a bunch and said I could use it, so I chopped it up and modded it, and we just built a little sketchy ramp with it.
Awesome. I love it.
And yeah, it was good times. It was just 2 weeks of me and my dad in the shop and me on the dozer, and it was cool. It was a fun day.
My dad just didn't tell me not to do that stuff, but he certainly wasn't gonna weld that with me.
Yeah, no, my dad is gnarly. He's fucking awesome. He used to skydive too. He used to race flat track back in the day, professional and stuff.
Nice.
He's a cool ass dude. He's always been down. He's been at most of the jumps I've done, but not too much recently. But yeah, he's dope for sure. He's down.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah.
What did you grow up in California?
No, I'm from New Mexico, actually.
Okay.
Colorado and New Mexico is where I grew up, southern Colorado and New Mexico area, Las Cruces and Alamogordo are kind of my hometowns, I would consider.
All right.
But I don't know. It's hard to say where home is. My dad worked for the railroad on a tie gang, so we moved. I grew up in a travel trailer. We just moved every 3 months, traveling with the gang, building railroad track across the U.S. So, I just kind of was all over the place. But I consider New Mexico and Colorado like my home area.
Sweet. So then you just, after that, you were like, I really like living in stuff that's movable.
Yeah, it's been hard for me to post up somewhere for a long term, so I've been doing the van thing for like 3 years now, which is sick. I'll probably live in a van for the rest of my life, honestly. Like, I love it. It's dope.
Yeah.
I gotta do what I want. I don't need a lot of stuff. I don't like a lot of stuff. And I'm definitely like super ADD, and yeah, so I like being able to go where I want and carrying all my toys with me. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have a pickup truck right now, and I'm bummed.
Yeah, exactly. I love the van thing for sure. I mean, sometimes I wish it was a little bit bigger, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it sucks that I'm kind of stuck in just the U.S. If I stay doing the van thing, I'd like to travel to more places, but...
Well, you're going to have to get on a plane, Brad, and go...
Yeah, I know. I went to Malaysia this year. That was, like, my first, like, kind of big, like, overseas trip to do stuff. And that was pretty cool, but I was really stoked to get back to the U.S. after that.
Well, yeah, Malaysia sounds like it could be a little bit... Is that the first time that you've gone someplace like that?
Definitely like that. I mean, I've been to like just to like Canada and Mexico, and I've been to Mexico a few times, like, you know, partying and doing base jump demos and, you know, just random trips. And that's always been fun. I love Mexico, obviously. It's fucking badass. But yeah, Malaysia was my first like real like overseas like flight, like a really long, you know, international flight and stuff. And it was for a base jumping event it was just like a couple months ago actually. And it was like a week-long thing where the government holds this like event where they just have these base jumpers jump off this building. This kind of like a tourist attraction thing. Like, I don't really know. We just basically got like flown over there to rage for like a week, like jumping off buildings and party. It was pretty sick.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was cool.
It sounds similar to freestyle motocross.
Yeah, it is. Base jumping is a really strange sport and culture. Like, the people are very different, that's for sure. I don't really fit in it, even, you know. They're weird, but they're cool. I have a lot of friends in it, but I still don't consider myself 100% in that clique. It's a really weird deal, but it's cool. They're cool people.
Well, that's good.
They're kind of like the Burning Man style more, you know what I mean? I don't really know what that is. Like, yeah, I don't know what you call them. Like, there's a lot of dressing up in like furry costumes and you know, glow sticks, and I'm not about that, but they seem to really like that.
Are you mostly American, or the people you jump with, or if you jump with people, are they around here, or are they from everywhere?
Jumper people, like it's everywhere, man. I mean, most of the jumpers I know right now live in Moab, Utah, and then there's quite a few here. I'm in San Diego right now, and there's a few that live here.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if I can turn Nick down, but I can't.
Am I still too loud?
Yeah, trying to turn him down.
Yeah. Google Hangouts doesn't have that ability yet.
I can't turn a single one down. Do you want me to turn down?
No, I want you to turn up, bro.
Alright, turn it up. Oh, I still got a lot left on my juice.
Oh, that's the issue.
There it is. Is that better?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
Damn, alright. Sorry I was blowing it. I don't do this phone stuff. I'm not good at it.
We don't either. I mean, we do, but we don't.
Yeah, it's like, that's the
Everybody's yelling at me, but being too loud.
The first thing I would do if I made money with this, it would be get somebody that knew how to run it.
Right? Hire somebody
Jamie?
to do the important shit.
Yeah, they could actually run it, and then Nick and I can just get drunk.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream job.
Yeah, yeah.
Too good to be true. I think that's why.
Right? I'd do it if I knew anything, but I don't. So.
Well, I just
We're in the
figured
same
out
boat.
enough to get this rolling, and that's about it. So
Hell yeah. Where are you guys?
I live in New Jersey, and Nick lives right outside of Chicago.
Oh, all right. Where?
I guess
I
I could
met
say I
some
live
dudes,
outside of New York, but
yeah, northeasterner.
yeah.
Nice. I met two random, just some cool kids who were from New Jersey when I was out at Cadenville doing that last moto base jump there. We were there for like a couple weeks, and there was just for maybe probably 4 or 5 days this random, just little like two dudes setup that rolled in, and we kind of just camped out with those guys. They were from New Jersey, and they were just there chilling, riding. They were cool. It was fun to hang out with them. We just drank a lot and just shot the shit. It was cool.
Sounds right. Who
I don't
was it?
remember. I don't remember their names, man. I know they said they were gonna follow me on Instagram, but I'm so bad with names and stuff. So I maybe they're listening or something, but I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure it's a small world. I gotta at least
Yeah,
have an
yeah,
idea.
right.
Hey
There's
Nick,
like
play
there's a decent.
Go
What
ahead.
was that?
I was gonna say
I was gonna
play
say
you
there's
jump
a
in.
decent little free ride scene, right?
Well, it had to have been Frankie.
No, it was. They knew Frankie. They were friends with
Okay.
that guy. They mentioned him, and I know of him. He's kind of like one of the more known guys out that way for
Yeah.
that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. He's the only one. Maybe I saw Nick Desiderio was out there or something. Anyway,
Nick Desiderio. Oh, I think I met that kid the other day, actually.
because he's.
At this house. Yeah.
I used to race his dad.
Kind of shorter.
I don't know. I never met the kid. I used to race his dad. I just know of him.
No way.
Yeah.
No, I totally met him the other day at my buddy Jake Haygood's house. We were just over there like kicking back and chilling, and there was he rides Supercross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did meet him. He was cool. He was chill.
Yeah.
Random.
Yeah. I raced his dad, dude. His dad like came back out of retirement, and then and then I raced him. Then I was like 18 at the time, you know, and his dad was probably like my age now.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's dope.
That's funny. And we know Tom too. We've had Tom on the show before, and I've ridden shows with Tom and stuff back in the day.
Tom P.
Yeah.
Tom P. Yeah, Tom's awesome. He's cool. I recently met him. I don't even know how long ago it was. But yeah, I've followed him for a minute, but I just started hanging out with him recently. But he's a really cool dude.
Yeah.
He's chill.
Yeah.
He's
Especially
funny.
for that stuff, going and free riding and shit like that. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, dude. We rode a couple times out in the canyon, and then at Dumont we've been out there a couple times now, and it's so fun. It's fun to watch him ride. Like it's crazy, dude. That guy throws down so hard. Like even his warm up is like fatter than as big as I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I rode a show in Atlanta to it was a Renner deal. It was raising the bar when he was doing step up. So they built him like a landing in Atlanta, and I rode that with Tom and Brody and Renner. So that was a sweet demo. That's actually the first. Maybe I rode with Tom. Like, actually, I think that's it. I think that's the only time I rode with him, really.
Yeah, that's cool. Brody, I just met Brody this week out there at Dumont. He came out to ride, but his bike broke on day one, and he had to dip. But he was a
too much powder coat.
Huh?
He had too much powder coating on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he may have for sure, but I don't know. He wasn't there long enough for me to even know if he did or not.
I'll have to call him and ask him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much powder coating on there. It overheated. He had to go home.
Yeah. Overheated. Yeah. All of this stuff was dialed. I couldn't believe anything broke. It looked like it was brand new.
That's why I was like, what?
Pretty broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't dig it. Who knows?
No, I doubt it. He's usually super fun to ride with too. We'll end up getting lost in like these little teeny like jumps and fucking, sit there for like an hour.
Well, I've always heard he goes like big. He likes the big stuff. And then I remember like an old video, I think he did with Hogs or something, of like a big like fourth gear like flip out in Richie or something like that. Yeah, he's gnarly. It would have been cool to see him out there.
Yeah, it is a bummer because he's, you see some people in person and you're like, oh, okay. And then you see some people in person and you go, whoa, like, so gnarly. Yeah, and that's Brody. Whenever you see him, you're just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, dude shreds.
Yeah, everything's so badass and huge. Like, every time he goes off the ramp, it's gnarly. I'm like, this guy's like a running highlight reel here. He amps you up to ride better and makes you feel like shit about yourself at the same time. Like, I would get so pumped to ride, and then at the same time, I'm like, man, my shit's so gay compared to him.
Yeah, no, I feel like that all the time. I mean, I ride with Raha a lot, and it's like... Yeah,
gnarly.
That's like, cool. Like, it's like, no matter what I do, it's not going to be that cool. You know what I mean? So, it's all good. You should just have fun, though. He's fun to ride with, though. He's always down to do something sketchy.
Yeah. Who, Raha?
Yeah. Yeah, he's always like... He knows I'm, like, easy to talk into sketchy stuff, too. So, he's like... I gotta limit my time riding with him for sure.
Dude, he's so not like, he seems like he's so technically good.
He's so good, yeah. He's super tech. Like, I mean, I before I even knew him, just seeing videos of him riding, I called it like years ago. I was like, dude, Raha's gonna be like the next Bearman. You know what I mean? He just had that same vibe and flow riding, and then it was about 2 years later after I thought that, it was like, boom, he was the guy, But then I had known him, I had met him out in the hills, and we just rode and filmed together a little bit, and just became friends. And it's been cool to see him like blow up the way he has over the last couple years. Because when I met him, we were like both in the same boat. I was, living in the van, just cruising, getting by, really just doing free riding like I always have and base jumping. And I was working as a skydiving instructor part-time, kind of as my like main money. And Raha was straight up living in his truck at the Walmart parking lot. And we'd just ride in Richie, and it was dope. But it's crazy to see how things are going for him now. It's pretty cool. I'm stoked for him.
Yeah, it's sick. The step up thing. You're like, he never rode step up. They just invited him over to ride step up, and then he's just like blasting it super high and does that one-hander and like reaches down and almost grabs the bar. And I'm just like, like, who can do that?
Yeah, no, he's sick, dude. But that's the kind of stuff when we're out in the hills, like, Raw loves finding cliff jumps. You know what I mean? Like, he loves boosting those kind of just straight up cliffs. And so it totally makes sense that he's going to just, on a perfectly groomed jump that's made for that, I can't imagine he's just going to rape it,
Right.
Like, that's what he's good at. Is those big, high, steep stuff. Like, that's where Raha kills it.
That's
the
right.
The steeper, the better.
Yeah. We were just looking at the picture of you jumping Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
So I have seen you ride like actual stuff now that I think about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of people, though, I get that a lot. People are like, well, do you actually ride? And like, that was one thing Raha was getting on to me about. He actually kind of encouraged me to start putting video out, because I never really put stuff out that much. I just kind of started doing it over the last 6 months or so.
Yeah. Like
real free ride stuff. And he's all, you need to show people like you can ride. Like, I know you can, but you need to show like internet and you'll get some help, So I was like, all right, I guess we'll start filming, So but yeah, I mean, I love riding. I love free riding. It's not all just about boosting off stuff and parachuting. I truly love riding my dirt bike first and foremost. I like base jumping secondary, and moto base is just kind of my like a passion project, something that I get to be creative and have fun with, and really like there's no limits to it except kind of where my fear takes over and stops me, or or where the terrain just won't work, you know.
Yeah. What do you do? Do you have a
But
regular
yeah,
job still?
I have not worked a regular job this year. But usually, if I'm working, I am a skydiving instructor. I do like tandem skydiving, where you
Nice.
like that's basically like where you take people. You know, they're like attached to you.
Right.
Um, that's been my regular job for the last 7 years. This year is the first year I've actually got like real support, like from some companies that now I kind of have built a foundation for what I'm doing, and I've let a few people in on my plans with this stuff, and so I've got a little bit of support, but it's not I just get by, but I haven't had to work this year, and I'm hoping I can just keep rolling with that and keep it growing. But I'm actually where I'm doing this interview right now at Thrill Seekers. My buddy Austin, he owns this place. I'm sure you guys know who they are. They make clothes and seat covers and
Yeah.
everything. And I do a lot of sewing, and that's like the stuff. Sometimes I'll help Austin out just making seat covers, and
Nice.
that'll be. If I'm trying to work, that's what I'd be doing over here. But for the most part, just doing my stuff, riding, filming, doing the moto base jobs, and that's it.
Nice.
Selling video. Mostly I live off of my just a couple sponsors that I have, and then selling video. So,
What do you mean? Like, so did you submit? Did you need to submit one of your videos to the Chive contest where you could win 25 grand?
yeah, right. Yeah, I haven't tried any contests. I just licensed through these couple of like viral
Well,
engines, I guess you would say, and they just kind of have me on a thing. Like basically, as soon as I have a new video, I let them know, and then they offer me if like a setup kind of thing, and then
nice.
they'll pay me monthly depending on how many times it got sold or viewed over the month. So, but I do need to do those other things. I'm just really learning all this stuff and like how it works and how to make money on it. So
Yeah. Well, I would just submit it to that Chive contest because, like, what is a gnarlier video than that? Period.
yeah,
You
right. I know. I need to. I need to. I just don't know which one. Can you just put? Should I just send all
Go
of them or
on.
what? Like,
Go on there. I wonder when it was too. Go on the Chive Instagram.
the
And
Chive
there's
Instagram.
yeah, and that's where I saw where it was like saying that you could submit your video. Hopefully it didn't end yet.
Yeah.
But that's like
Yeah. Right.
perfect candidate for that. You know what I mean? Like what's gnarlier than
Right.
that? There is nothing.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, I feel like it's up there on the gnarly scale. I don't know. I'm sure there is gnarly stuff, but yeah, I think it should do good if I did post it up. I know someone was telling me about some GoPro contest. They were like, you need to put it on there, but they like make it sound real good, like it's like $1 million or something, but it's really $1 million split over by like a ton of people who win, so you get like $1,000.
Oh yeah.
All right. It's like one of these jumps cost me $1,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like by the time I've been out there living in the sand dunes for 2 weeks and blowing my bike up twice, like fucking shit's expensive, you know?
Yeah.
Firewood's expensive, like living out there in the desert.
Dude, a motor is fucking real expensive. That's one motor.
Oh, dude, I've done 3 motors this year already. Like, I've done a full Athena 300 kit, blown it, melted the cylinder, did a stock one, and now I did another stock one. That's actually why I'm here at Thrill Seekers. Austin's let me, like, rebuild my stuff in his little shop. So I just dropped the stuff off. I'm gonna tear it down tomorrow. So I blew that thing up twice in the last 2 weeks, trying to do this dune jump, and then I finally just gave up on the 2-stroke. I was like, I just can't I just can't hang with what I'm trying to do. I need a 450, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
So
ask.
that's
What do you were trying to do a 252 stroke? That's what you had been using?
yeah, that's what I've been using all this year. I yeah, I built this bike all through this year. It's like just a Franken YZ 250. It's like a '08 frame with a 2017 motor. It's 2012 suspension. It's all dialed though. It's super nice. It just can't hang with the, you know, sand dunes at fifth gear wide open for extended periods of time. It's not easy on the two stroke.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing
So
leading up to your jumps, fifth gear wide open? Just test running it?
yeah, I'm running the GPS thing we were talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, making sure that I mean, because there's no speedometer on a dirt bike, you know what I mean? And like, that's like the most calculated way I can do it. And I know it's exactly right. Where you can like download a speedometer on your iPhone and use it, but it's not really exact, you know?
Right. So you're just
So
trying
yeah,
to see how fast you're getting running at the faces of the stuff.
exactly. I got to know what kind of speed I can carry all the way through the run up to the transition, because then I know for how high the jump is or how tall it is and what angle, how much speed I'm going to lose as well. And then also you have to test gearing. It's just like a distance jump, you know, like, you know, Matto and those guys, they run these super small rear sprockets so they can get all this top speed. But the thing is, I need top speed, but I also need to be able to carry that speed off the lip, off of like a 90-foot tall hill climb. And so there's like magic numbers there, and it's hard to just guess it and go do it right off the bat and it be right. I've tried that and I've almost died, so I don't do that anymore. I actually go and run them and really, you know, I definitely burn some bikes up, but I'm willing to do the work and fix it. So I just do what I got to do, but whatever I got to do to make me feel confident and know that I got it, you know. So yeah, I blew the bike up. I did 4 different trips to Dumont and blew my bike up twice just for this one, and I ended up not even using that bike, but it just took that much time and trips out there to really
make sure
find the line, get it dialed, and know it's doable. And then also wait for the weather to be right at that exact day, you know.
Right.
Because they need a certain wind direction for every jump, and density altitude is different by the weather and the temperature and all that. So yeah, it took a while to get this one, but it's now I know what kind of window I have for like possibilities out there, and so I'm stoked to, you know, get another bike set up and go out there again because there's so much left to do. It's crazy.
When you
Was this the first one on a 4-stroke? Were they all 2-stroke before?
This was my second time doing moto base jumps on a 4-stroke. This would be 2 and 3. But it is my first time ever using a 450. I did it on a 250F in Caneville, and that was the one I almost died on.
It kind of was lagging at the end there, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing where I was talking about the gearing thing. I geared it basically like the WR 250 is like geared for street, and they'll top out like a little over 80 miles an hour, right? But it does not carry that speed if you give it any kind of transition or any stress at all. And that was something I learned a really scary way. So yeah, that's why I won't be using a 250F again for sure.
Are you sticking with the 450 then, or are you gonna go back to the 2-stroke?
I want to stick with the 450 because another thing that was really cool this time around was after I do the jump and my bike lands, I land a little bit away from my bike, right? And I have to pack my parachute into my little stash bag and then walk to my bike to get it. And during that time with the 2-stroke and the bike's laying over, it's just pouring gas and flooding itself, right? And spilling on the parachute and everything. And with the fuel injected 450, there's none of that. It just like lands and it's totally good. I walk right up there, start it, and it's money. And it's so much easier, so much less stuff to worry and deal with, you know.
And it jets itself, no matter the altitude.
Yeah, exactly. The fuel injection is spot on all the time. I don't have to worry about running lean and blowing the bike up doing 70 miles an hour. So yeah, I think the future for me is definitely using 450, a new 450. I'm just rebuilding the bike this week. I'm gonna try to get it sold so I can come up on a 450 by New Year's and get back on the gym.
How fast were you going when you hit that last Dune one?
My bike was topping out at 73 with the gearing that we had it on. And it would carry it like off the lip. So I left the jump on the last one at 73 miles an hour. The video that you guys seen, that was 67 miles an hour because I was fourth gear on the 450. But the video I haven't posted yet was 73 or 76. I can't remember.
Holy shit.
I think it was 73. Yeah.
Right.
So it was fifth as fast as it would go. And I went almost 300 feet in distance, and the whole total height from how high I jumped and how far I ended up going down was like almost 400 feet in total.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
So how high
But the second one's gnarly. Like, yeah, I'm gonna post the video here pretty soon, but it's huge.
How high did you go off the lip?
Well, the jump was 154 feet tall, and I maxed out at 196 feet high. So the difference of that, I went pretty high off the lip, and the angle was not steep. It was only 30 something degrees.
Wow.
So it wasn't even as steep as a regular freestyle ramp.
Right.
But the second one I did was even less steep. It was more of like a distance jump. It was like fifth ripping. It was like a downhill ski jump, kind of like Robbie's that one he did off the ski thing in Salt Lake. It was kind of like that style jump, but I just went super far out. But that one was gnarly, man. The speed going that fast, and then the way I have my parachute configured to open for me, like really like rocked me on opening, like dislocated one of my ribs. I'm like still can barely breathe like right now, just like
did you get it back
the
in?
chest strap. I got racked so hard. Yeah, you can hear me in the video. I'm like, whoa, like the wind gets knocked out of me. It just like dislocated my rib when I opened.
Dude, I didn't know that was a thing, and I separated a shoulder.
Yeah.
And
slip a rib.
I broke my collarbone. And for like 3 weeks, I'm like, have to hold my ribs when I cough. I just thought they were broken. I didn't get them looked at because I'm like, they don't do anything for broken ribs anyway. And 3 weeks later, I sneezed. And I felt this big snap. And I was like, at first, I was like, ah. And I go, oh, no, it feels better. And I felt, and they were back in place. And I looked it online. And they were like, oh, yeah, dislocated ribs. But I didn't even know it was a thing. I had them for like 2.5 weeks.
Oh yeah, dude, I've had it, ever since then. I've had it a couple times. It used to happen kind of frequently when I was doing the tandem skydiving, like taking people on jumps, right? Because like you're going out of the plane and they're like scared as fuck and they're all pushed back on you, and you get like a big ass like tough dude and you like push back and it would just like pop it out and then it like go out of the plane with your rib dislocated, like you can't breathe, like it was shit. But that was when the first time it ever happened to me a couple years ago. Doing that sucked. And ever since then, it's been like it does it kind of frequently, which sucks.
That happened to my wife, dude. We thought she had like fucking bronchitis or something. We were trying to figure out all these different things. And her one buddy's a chiropractor. And he's like, "You popped out a rib." I'm like, "That don't even sound like a fucking real thing." And he's like, tweaked her, and it like made her cry, and then it was like relief. It was weird.
Oh yeah, I need to go to the chiropractor. I can definitely feel that.
Dude, it worked like it was crazy how fast it fixed it. And we went for like a week trying to figure out what it was.
Damn, yeah, I need to do that for sure. Today was brutal. When I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely need to go to the chiropractor.
Yeah, I couldn't lay on my back. It felt like I was laying on a Rubik's Cube or something.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal. It's like right under my shoulder blade, like all the way around, like into my sternum. It's just right.
Can you feel in the front that it's like out of line? That's how mine was.
It doesn't feel. It's definitely a little bit in the front, but it's more on the side. I feel like it's almost like pushed over like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it went over on the side. It's super weird. Which makes sense, I guess, because the chest strap's here, so it like got pushed back. You know what I mean? Whenever I hit. So yeah, it just feels like it got pushed back and out. It's weird. But Hopefully it'll pop back in, or else I'm gonna definitely have to go here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just go back in, like you just reach up above your head and it'll just like, you'll feel it. But so far it hasn't.
Yeah, I sneezed. I turned or something and sneezed, and that was it. It pushed mine back in.
Yeah.
Same thing. At first I was like, ah, fuck, like, and then I go,
Yeah.
oh wait, hold on, and it was like
That's
immediately better.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope maybe I'll get a sneeze attack and pop it back in. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a drink. I'll be right back. I didn't bring anything with me.
All right.
I'm out.
You're out. What are you drinking?
I just got Bud Light and then I got a little bit of Bullet.
There you go.
Bullet's good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I have
Like Bullet for
tequila.
sure. You what?
I got tequila and water.
Oh, that's what you were pouring? And the
Yeah.
story you posted? Was it the tequila?
No, that was Nick posted a story.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see
Right.
it. I don't even know what he was doing.
Yeah, it looked like vodka, but I didn't know.
Yeah, he said he was drinking vodka, so.
Yeah, I'm a whiskey or I really don't drink beer a whole lot, but if I do, it's something shitty like Bud Light or something like that.
Yeah, I drank whiskey for probably 5 years of my life, and then now I'm pretty much just tequila for the most part.
Yeah, tequila. Ooh, man, I haven't drank that in a minute. I think it was like last year at a base jumping thing we did down in Tijuana. We got ripped on tequila, and I haven't had it since.
I hate tequila.
It's gnarly. I mean, I like the drunk you get, but it's like the hangover's too much for me.
It depends on, you gotta get good tequila. I mean, it's like anything else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't experienced enough different kinds to know. I just know what I've had has fucked me up.
Yeah.
There's other ways to do it.
Yeah.
Like 1800 gives me a killer headache. I've had 3 drinks of 1800 and the next day, been in excruciating pain. And I'm like, I wasn't even really drunk. Like, how does my head hurt this badly?
Is that supposed to be considered a good trip?
Yeah, by what? Their advertising agency?
That's all I can go off. I fucking drink tequila.
IPAs, like beer, I've noticed if I get drunk or even a kind of tipsy off like a hardcore IPAs, like beers, I'm done. I'm miserable. Like that's the worst hangover I think that I could have is like an IPA hangover. That shit sucks.
Dude, have you ever had Foster's all day IPA?
Foster's the Australian like
No,
thing?
no.
Different I definitely haven't.
Well, it's called all day IPA, and it's not even that strong. It's like 4 something. But it gives me like a buzz fast, but yeah, I get a headache off of like 2 of them. Like the next day, I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Dude, I think they dry you out, and then, or for me, they like clog my nose up, so I'm a mouth breather all night, and then I just wake up fucking like I'm dying of fucking thirst.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I think it's such a different drunk though. I don't know what it is.
Different drunk. It's like a sick drunk though for me, man. I don't like it. Like living in Denver this summer, like I was like chilling up with some homies up there, and like they love going to the breweries, and that breweries don't sell fucking alcohol. Like you can't get just like straight shooters, or anything. So it was just like getting drunk on IPAs, and the worst hangovers I've ever had in my life. Drinking at mile high elevation, drinking IPAs. I was like, no, never again.
I'm sure multiple different ones as well.
Oh yeah, all kinds of shit. It was terrible.
You gotta keep doing. You gotta train like it's for a marathon. You just keep pounding away.
I don't want to get good at it. I'm gonna say. I don't want to get good at it. For real.
I got a wicked ass like barley wine beer from a local brewery that's been in my fridge since my birthday, and I've had it before, and it's like a fucking, it's a wine beer. It's weird. I can't
Yeah.
get myself up to drink.
I mean, I like wine. I'll definitely drink some
Yeah,
wine for
this is
sure.
like dark
But-
beer.
Yeah, but I don't drink wine really to like get schmacked. You know what I mean? Like it's not really gonna get me fucked up, but.
Really?
No.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I feel like I have to drink a lot of wine to get pretty.
Well, yeah, that's the fucking.
Yeah, gotta drink a lot. Where whiskey, I don't have to drink a whole grip for sure, but.
Yeah, but then you get good
But
at
wine
it.
is good.
You get good
Yeah.
at drinking whiskey though, and then you have to.
Yeah.
And then you get cocky, and then you're like, I flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, right.
Hurting.
Yeah. Drinking fucks me up enough. I learned my lesson like over and over every month, pretty much. I won't ever get too good.
What are you a smoker?
I don't know. I don't smoke cigarettes. I mean, I smoke weed for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Cigarettes will kill you.
I never been a cigarette smoker. It's yeah. That's never been my thing. I actually used to like chew tobacco like for a long time, but I quit that.
Yeah, me
And
too.
that sucked to quit, but that was I kind of every once in a while when you're at the gas station, you know, you like see it. It's like, man, damn, I should get that. But
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want myself anymore.
What did you chew?
But Grizzly long cut straight.
Damn.
Yeah, it's rough.
It is rough. Dude, I would do Copenhagen straight. Or not Copenhagen,
Yeah.
Skull straight.
Oh, skull's gnarly.
Sometimes, dude, I had friends that would do the Copenhagen straight fine cut. Where it's just all
fine
over your
cut's
mouth.
brutal. It's like just like dirt. Dude. It's like putting tobacco flavored like cinnamon in your mouth.
Yeah, that's what I was like. How do you do this? It ends up everywhere.
Yeah, I want like some like there's all that. I liked it like long. I actually used to really like Red Man. That shit was long.
Yeah.
It was just like too much. You had to like take too much to like get the buzz. You know,
chew
you like
on
got
it.
a fucking baseball in your mouth. Like it's too gnarly.
And you have to chew on
Grizzly-
it and have that gnarly
Yeah.
spits.
Yeah, and there's like tree branches in there and stuff.
You're
It's
kind
too
of
much.
making me want some. You go straight in there?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, oh, we gotta switch the subject. I've been doing good. I don't want that.
Tomorrow I'll have red
Alright, we
moon.
go to the gas station. Yeah, it's like it's Grizzly. If I throw up from it now, I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna be able to handle it.
That's what I would do with some regular, like, if I had straight skull right now, I'd definitely make myself sick with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It like sounds good. It's weird though. I'd go through phases even while I was doing it, like full blown addicted to it, just like eat and dip all the time. And then like all of a sudden one day it'd just be like so nasty, you know, and I was like couldn't do it. And it was like that was the day, like a day like that where I was like, okay, and I could quit. And then
That's how I made myself quit.
Didn't
I
you?
would constantly think of whenever I went to...
make yourself sick.
I would think of the times that same thing. I was
Yeah.
driving before and just all night, so I just kept putting lips in just to stay up. And then I finally got to where I was going and I smoked directly into the spins, laid on the bathroom floor for like an hour. You know, so I would just
that's
think.
the worst.
So I would just think of shit like that.
Yeah, no, I know that for sure. That's brutal. Yeah.
I'll just stick to
Directly-
IPAs. I mean, dip.
Straight to the spins, Nick.
That's when it feels good. You lay down and just start spinning and just ride it.
I hate that. I hate that feeling.
It's the
I hate
worst.
that.
Yo, hey,
Yeah.
have you ever put your foot out of the bed and put it down on the floor? It kind of helps a
Keep
little
it. Yeah. No, get your center of gravity back. Your center point.
It doesn't totally go away, but it throws it off a teeny bit.
Right. Stalls it out.
Hey, do you know who Nick Johnson is?
Yeah, what's
Either-
he talking shit about?
He's commenting on the thing. He said this looks like negotiations between Antifa and the white nationalists.
What is that? I don't know what that means.
He's a comedian that I hang out with all the time.
Nice.
He said this motherfucker rides dirt bikes and sews clothes. With a laughing face.
Yeah,
He said you should start a Snapchat premium account.
Snapchat premium?
I don't know. I think I'm going to show your ass to do that.
Yeah, no, I think I got to do porn.
You don't
I'm
got big enough
not
boobs.
against it, but
You don't have big
I don't
enough
know.
boobs, Brad.
Internet marketing shit.
huh?
You don't have big enough
What?
boobs.
No, I don't. I'm flat chested as fuck. Lacking. Lacking. But I have some friends with Snapchat premium accounts for sure. I know the business, but yeah.
Oh, you're just a client though.
No, I definitely don't pay for any Snapchats. That's for sure. I barely use Snapchat. It's strange, but yeah, Snapchat's weird. I
Nick
get it.
Nick asked if I guess he missed that part earlier. Do you ever do math for exact speeds for the jumps? He said before races, but that's just because he doesn't ride dirt bikes.
I definitely, there is lots of math, going in. I mean, I guess you wouldn't say math, there's just lots of data. Like, it's not like I'm, like, doing, like, an equation. It's just, like, I know what angle of steepness I need on the backside at what speed and what angle of a lip, and then I know what altitude I need, what kind of forward speed I need for a certain amount of time parachute opening, basically if I'm looking for like a 1.5 second parachute opening, I know what I need to have for that scenario. So yeah, I have like basic points that I'm going for, and I do definitely like I said, use the GPS on all of my runs and map it all out and get the best idea beforehand before boosting one out into oblivion for sure.
The rest of us, Nick, no, we just look at shit and go, I think I know how fast to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're right.
Yeah. But when it comes time to do the jumps, like I mean, that's all that shit don't matter. It's just what you got to do, and
Dude, that dune one
scary.
was so sketchy because I've got when you're riding the dune, sometimes you're ripping and you just start swapping or something at the end. If something happened when you're doing like 70 some miles an hour, it'd be a fucking mess.
Oh, dude, especially because I'm tied into my dirt bike. You know what I mean? I'm like literally tied to the bike parachute. So if I wad it, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And the run up for that one was super gnarly. I'm probably gonna put like the just straight shot out here pretty soon, where it's just from the turn like all the way through the dunes. It was probably like a 40-second run up. And there's a big like drop, some G outs that were pretty sketchy, especially just full pinned on the 450 through there. It was scary for sure. It was scary.
You must have your bike set up just like maximum sag, forks as far down in the triple clamps as possible, just so it's as sturdy as possible.
Yeah, I have it. I mean, I run on my personal setup. I run Supercross suspension. Like I like really, really stiff suspension with like a pretty good amount of rebound because I like to have some responsiveness.
Uh-huh.
With this bike that I used for the jump, my buddy Granny's bike, he had the suspension done, but I'm not sure what it was. I just turned the clickers as hard as they would go because I was like, there's no way it can be too hard for this one, because the transitions, and I mean, the more sag and more squat that's in the bike on the dunes, the less power like you'll maintain, if you do drop into a hole. So the stiffer, the better it is for keeping momentum. So I just cranked everything up as hard as it would go for the dune jumps.
You said Scranny?
Yeah,
Scranny, yeah. Scotty.
Yeah, we know. We've had him on here. He did a handstand
on
a skateboard live on the show.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the homie. Yeah, that's Granny. He's fucking awesome, man. He's one of my favorite people. For sure.
He's
It's
awesome.
cool. He's sick.
So what do you weigh? Cause you look skinny, and he's pretty
Yeah.
skinny too. So you guys got to be similar, I would imagine, no?
Yeah, I think Granny's a little bigger than me. I'm 5'11", and I weigh like 152 pounds on the heaviest day. You know, usually like between 147, 152. Like I'm pretty skinny. So his body felt good though. Do what?
You've been bulking up.
Bulking up, yeah.
Need to get on that plan.
Yeah, bulking up. No, it's good. I gotta stay light, so I don't need such a big parachute.
That's what Nick keeps saying, but he doesn't.
I know. Clint tries to body shame me for not weighing enough.
Oh yeah,
He just sends me like private snaps, no one else can see it.
Don't feel bad, dude.
I ain't worried about it.
I could work out as much as possible, and I'll never get over 155. I guarantee it.
Nick has the body of an 8th grader. In the 80s, not now.
Not
now.
Similar. An 8th grader.
In the 80s, not now with all the hormones.
Yeah, that's bad 8th graders. But I do buy their clothes. I get like 20 hot clothes on the boys' husky section. Everything, I can do whatever I want now.
Oh yeah. Style. Versatility.
So where are you parking your truck at the moment?
The van, well last night we stayed down on this beach kind of area in San Diego. We did this base jump this morning. Hogs came out and filmed and stuff for us. He's doing some little project, and so we just stayed kind of down over by the Torrey Pines glider port.
Nice.
This is a little spot in San Diego. We just post up wherever. I mean, lots of truck stops, lots of Walmart parking lots, lots of random in the middle of nowhere, out in the hills, wherever. When I'm in Cali, it kind of sucks. Yeah, I have a girl cruising with me. Her name's Claire Marie. She's a professional base jumper. She's
awesome.
She's super sick. She's actually way better at base jumping than I am, so she helps with a lot of stuff, and like, kind of like the number one person I ask for advice whenever I'm doing stuff lately. She's been helping a lot. But yeah, she's pretty sick. But she rolls with me. She has been rolling with me the last few months, so it's been cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of setup do you have in your van? Do you have like a sink and stuff, or?
No, it's so basic. I have just like a bed set up. And then underneath that is like storage where we keep all our parachutes and like just clothes and stuff like that. And then I have my bike, and then we have downhill bikes. And that's really it. It's like super basic, just parachutes, dirt bike, and gear, all that stuff. Keep it super minimal. Huh?
Sprinter van, or you got like a Ford or something?
No, I have a Chevy Express. It's just like the stock standard like delivery van kind of thing.
Is it the extended or the regular one?
No, it's 1500. It's not even the long one. We're smashed in there. I had the big one before. This is my second van. I had the 3500 before, but that thing was a nightmare, man. It broke down all the time, and the 1500's been a little better, even though there's not as much room. It's just like the V6 is chill and seems to not be such a little bitch.
I had an old 03. It was the first 6 months of the year. They had the 7.3 diesels in it still.
Oh, damn.
And I had one of those, and I bought it with 79,000 miles on it, and I got rid of it with 370.
Oh, damn.
I was trying to get the extra 9,000 out of it so I could say I did 300,000 in that truck, but it just started giving me trouble all the time, and I was like, fuck.
Damn, my last one got to like 280,000, and it just turned off. I don't know what happened to it. I think it was like electronical, but it was like it just stopped turning on.
What motor was it?
It was the Vortec. Fuck, what is it? Was
Oh,
it
was that big
5.3?
Chevy gas one?
Yeah, the big ass Chevy, the biggest one they do.
It's not
Whatever
the
that
10
was.
cylinder. Was that Chevy or was that Dodge or something?
I think the Vortec has a 10. I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it was the Vortec 3500, and it was a piece of shit though. Man, that thing sucked. Like that thing sucked. Now I have the Vortec V6, and it's not so bad. But I mean, it's not ultimate, but it for what I paid for it and for what I've done, I've already put over 55,000 miles on it this year.
Nice. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm smashing all over the place in that thing, and it's been a beast so far, but. That's all good. I would like to have ultimately like a diesel one day, diesel like
Sprinter.
3500.
Nice
Yeah.
and tall.
A Sprinter would be sick, but they're so tall, man. I don't want to not be able to like drive into certain places just because the roof's tall, I don't really care about being able to stand up in my van. I'm not really in there much. I just sleep in there and then I drive places in it,
What do you mean, like parking garages?
Yeah, like all kinds of stuff like that, like parking garages, drive-throughs. I ate a lot of fast food, being broke as shit, so I need to be able to whip in and out of there,
I think you can still get them through the most drive-throughs, I would think.
Can you?
Parking lots.
Parking garages. I don't know.
Because my regular van was like, you know what I mean, a couple inches off of the roof all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put a rack on my old one, and then I couldn't go through shit.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are they building stuff in Thrill Seekers over there?
I'm not. I mean, Austin's doing stuff right now. He's like brewing tags and patches on stuff. Today we were just base jumping and filming a bit, and then I've been kind of dealing with my bike. Tomorrow I'm gonna be working on my bike and tearing it down and finding out exactly what's going on. I know that the top bend is done. I'm just hoping like I didn't fry a cylinder and need to do that, but I don't know if I'll get that lucky. So I'm gonna check that out tomorrow and see what's up, and then kind of assess the damage, try to get that thing fixed, and get a 450 rolling here pretty quick so I can get on with my shit. Got a lot of stuff left to do, and
yeah, I was gonna say you got another couple of jumps that you're already thinking of.
Oh yeah. There's a good list of stuff to do for sure. It's just all time and money. I mean, everything's putting it all together. On this last jump, the last one actually that I haven't put the clip out on yet. It ripped the parachute and ripped the parachute for the bike. So I have to figure out doing that. That's kind of expensive. So I got to get another parachute for that thing. Get that dialed in, and then I gotta get a 450 set up for some of these jumps. I would like to go back to the dunes and do some other jumps. There's some other line options there that would be super cool. And then there's some jumps here in California I want to do. And I'd like to go to a couple other spots down south in Mexico that I have picked out. So yeah. But there's definitely no end in sight of things to do. I mean, these have all been test jumps, you know what I mean, for me and my goals with this stuff and what I'm trying to do ultimately, and it's all learning and just building a foundation for it, showing what's possible with it, because ultimately there's some bigger picture stuff I'd like to do, but it's all just fun, and that's all I'm trying to do. Have as much fun as I can while I'm still alive.
You gotta be having people get on, like interested at this point now that you've done a handful of them and they've been successful, huh?
Yeah, I think I've done 8 now.
Like what is Chomps?
Yeah, Chomps.
What is it?
Chomps is like a beef jerky company. They're like basically like a super healthy, natural like Slim Jim. It's just not trash.
Okay.
So yeah, they just make like beef jerky sticks. They make turkey and beef jerky sticks. I think elk sticks as well. They're super cool. They're like they're just really down to do cool stuff. They're one of the first companies that ever stepped up and was like, we want to see what you can do. Like, what do you need? And they definitely helped out a lot, and I'm hoping I sign on with them and continue on for a while with them. They've been huge. They're a cool company. The people are cool. They sponsor my buddy Raha as well. He's actually the reason I got on with them. He told them about me, and they were all about it. And yeah, they're picking up a lot of people though. I think Vicky Golden now is riding
Well, that's
for
what
them as well.
that's who I thought I had seen it on, actually.
Yeah, me, Raha, and Vicky, I think, are the dirt bikers right now, but I know they're doing a lot more. Well, I guess I'm their base jumper too, because I have the parachute and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's the deal was for moto base, so I don't really know what to put that in, but it's, yeah, just to do moto base jumps for them.
We need like 5 more listeners so we can get sponsors of this show.
Yeah, right? Need 5 more listeners.
We're so close. We're so close,
So
dude.
Close. Well, I wish I knew. I barely know 5 people. So I don't know if I'll help out with that anyways.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like you guys said, you guys are all, oh, we don't know anything about you. It's like, yeah, it's like most people don't.
How many followers do you have? Come on.
It's blown up over the last just couple of weeks, but I mean, I didn't even have like 10,000 like earlier this year.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't even hit 10,000.
Now I just in the last 2 weeks it's went up to like 24,000 or so. I can't even remember. I think it's like 20-something thousand now.
Yeah, it's 24-2.
Well, 24-2. Yeah. See, it wasn't even at 24 this morning when I woke up. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's totally. I have no idea what's going on. It's just.
It's probably the podcast. I don't want to brag, but it's probably because we said you're going to be on, and people are like,
yeah. Right.
It's definitely worth 2,000 people.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, that's what pushed him over 24,000.
Yeah.
Well, that was 24-2, so we definitely gave him 2,000 people for sure. That was us.
2,000. I would say easy.
You actually never know. Like, that would be a big percentage of the people that follow us, though, because we have 8,000 on Instagram. That's like, what is that? Fucking not good at math. 30% or something like that.
2,000 of 8,000 is that's like 35%. Pretty good. Yeah.
I wish they would buy stuff when I posted in those numbers. Jeez.
Yeah.
Because Clint gets all pushy with his products.
Yeah, buy you fucking assholes.
Buy my fucking Emoto cards. Oh, 99. He gets all mad when people question why they cost so much. Why they cost $1.
Yeah.
Because Apple won't let me charge any less.
For an Android.
No. I wanted to charge $5.
Yeah, how can you make any money if you charge any less?
I just switched to iPhone, and I don't know if I like it. Like, it's a real pain in the ass. I have to have like that Apple ID thing, and I refuse to set it up, so my phone just like barely even works. Like, it was hard to get this app to do this right now.
It's obviously user error.
Oh,
There's no issues with it.
I'm horrible at it.
You'd think Clint's getting paid by Apple.
It's just what it's become. Is that because Nick gives me so much shit about his Android phones that I have to say stuff.
The shit.
Right?
He's forced me into it.
Hey guys, give me just a second. I'm about to piss my pants, alright?
Alright. PM.
So is my dog. I gotta let Randy out, or he's gonna fucking. Where's he at?
Jeez, alright. We'll do commercials.
There. The dog's been whining at me.
Alright. Now that everybody's taking care of their leaking situations, we're gonna thank our sponsors. Number 1 is Stroker Industries. You can get the trigger. You can get fog out for the inside of your goggles or your windshields, or say you ride like a street bike and you got a full visor. What is that thing called? A visor? That's not a visor. Wind screen? I don't know what the fuck it's called. Anyway, you can put it on the inside of your street bike helmet. They also have a dry chain lube. And also Canvas MX. You can get 10% off if you use the code FMXES10. I was doing commercials.
Commercials.
But you're back.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that tall boy went through me.
Yeah. What do you what gear do you wear? Shift?
Yeah, Shift has been awesome, dude. This year they just kind of started sending me stuff out of nowhere. And then the dude JT, the kind of like main guy over there, he's been super cool. He just shot me a bunch of gear and some boots, and they've been cool, man, helping me out. And that's like the one gear company of everyone I always loved. That was my first set of gear ever when I was a little kid, was the Shift set.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't be more stoked to be repping their stuff. I mean, hopefully I can do a long-term deal with them and grow and stuff with them for sure. I would love to stick it out with Shift and Fox. They're cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Fox obviously is, what can you say about Fox? They're like...
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah.
I mean, Fox owns Shift, and like
Yeah.
like the Fox boots. They sent me some Fox boots, and those are so sick. Like the coolest shit I've had. I think I want to start wearing the Fox helmets too, because I mean I'm still wearing the Shoei. I just always really liked Shoei. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna switch over to the Fox helmet too, because they're pretty cool.
Do they have a MIPS helmet yet?
The what?
The helmet where the lining rotates inside.
Oh, I don't know. That's like how the Bell's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they do that. I'm not sure. I haven't paid attention to the helmet stuff much. I've just been rocking the boots and the gear so far.
Yeah. I had a Fox helmet like way back in the day, and it was sweet.
Yeah. I've had. I haven't had one in a while, but I did a few years ago. I just kind of the last few years I've just been wearing whatever I can get my hands on. What everybody, somebody gives to me. It's just all budget moto so far with all this stuff. Especially because I spend so much money on fixing bikes and repairing parachutes and all the little stuff that you don't really realize happens with all these things, with all these jumps and all these trials for sure.
Are you doing any background movie stuff, like behind the scenes stuff, or putting a movie together, or?
We are working on behind the scene edits. I'm gonna start putting a lot more stuff out on my YouTube. Later. I guess it would be beginning of this next year. But yeah, we have a big behind the scenes going on of basically the dune jumps and then some of the Caneville stuff. We have tons of footage. I just haven't done anything with it. But we'll be doing some of that. That's what Steve Hogglestein, he's doing he wants to do an actual movie, I guess, with my stuff. And kind of show everything for me working, doing this stuff, building clothes, building seat covers, doing the sewing stuff that I have to do to just make normal money, and then building the jumps, traveling, doing the parachute stuff, and making the moto base jumps happen, because there's so much that goes into it that people don't know about, and a lot of people think I'm just some sketchy redneck who just sends all these jumps in. But I am I know I'm kind of crazy and look like shit, but there is some other stuff to it for sure. And so we are putting stuff out like that. I just don't know exactly how it's all gonna go yet, or how it's gonna be presented. But there definitely is that stuff in the works. And then Raha, I know, is working on a movie himself to do his own thing, and I know I have a lot of stuff in that too, because we've been doing stuff together for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, because like until we talk to you, you don't know anything about like it just looks like okay, there's a jump, I'm gonna go fucking hit it, you know?
Yeah,
You don't realize how much
exactly.
goes into it.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to it, you know. And I've been really kind of secretive with everything because I didn't want to give out too much information because something I am scared of is people like going and doing this and not realizing how much actually goes into it and then something gnarly happening, you know, and then
Yeah.
and I don't want to be the guy who like gave them the idea, but that's a little late. But I guess now it's like I gotta show them like, hey, it is possible to do this stuff, but there's a route of going to do it and not killing yourself. You know what I mean? Because I think just 2 days ago, some kid, like a 15-year-old kid, bought a skydiving rig online. He got it. He went up and jumped off this building, and he died because he took a skydiving rig on a base jump, and that doesn't fucking work. You know what I mean? It's not. You can't just because it looks like it works. Yeah, just because it's a parachute doesn't mean it's going to work for what you're trying to do. There's all kinds of different parachutes. There's all kinds of different configurations. There's base jumping parachutes that won't work for certain types of base jumps because the way they're configured or set up, you know. So there's so much to learn. And that's the thing. I've been like nervous about putting out what I've learned, but also I know I kind of need to keep maybe it good for the future. The people who want to try or something, because I know someone else is going to be as dumb as I am and want to do this shit, but maybe I can save them some of the scary days because it's been scary.
Honestly, yeah. I'm torn on that because, you know, like you said, you're kind of giving everybody else all a head start on everything. You had to struggle to learn, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've been on this for a decade. You know what I mean? I've been working on this since 2008. And it's been so long, so much. I learned, like, like you guys like talking about the sewing and stuff. The only reason I know how to sew is because I had to learn to be able to do the little things that I needed to do to change the parachute and fix the parachutes when they get ripped. Because that stuff's expensive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how the stuff's put together. And so by learning that stuff, I can build them and make them the way I need to. And I'm still learning all of it. But it also created a job for me in another way. So there's been so much learning. Every day is learning about so many things. And now, 10 years later, I actually have a pretty good grasp on what's going on. You know what I mean? But it was... Yeah. Gnarly for a while, you know, and it still is gnarly, but now I feel pretty confident in what I'm doing, and I'm not as, it's more fun now because I'm not so worried about just staying alive. It's like I know I got this is going to be sick, I can make this fun,
right? And you say not that gnarly in comparison, like just of how you feel about it, because the consequences are still the same. You know, like ultimately, if something does go wrong, it's not a good scenario at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if something goes wrong, you're done for sure. I mean,
nobody knows a bad helicopter pilot or parachuter.
Do what?
Nobody knows a bad helicopter pilot or parachuter.
Yeah, or parachutists. Yeah,
they're just not. There are none.
They're filtered out.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room for error in any of this stuff. It's just with the stuff that I'm doing right now. It's really like it has to be all preparation and everything has to be right, and then you just have to pull through with no human error or mechanicals.
Yeah.
And then you're dialed, but that's why I stress so hard on doing everything, making it right, making the bike right, and just making sure that I have all the things laid out in order to do it and get by.
Well, that was me at the end of my career. I wasn't even necessarily that worried about me. I was worried about mechanicals, and that's what ended up, well, the one time at least, gave me a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah, mechanicals for sure. I mean, I totally get you, dude. I broke the gnarliest scar I have I broke my arm in 10 places. Like, I dislocated, shattered my wrist, and I broke my arm in 10 places. You can see this gnarly scar. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
All right, do it
that
now
was a
because
mechanical.
you were minimized. Show us the scar again.
All right, that was mechanical. Neutral on a supercross triple. Broke my arm in 10 places. And that was just a mechanical. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. My bike just fucking slipped into neutral. There was a recall on the YZ250F, like, what fucking forget what year it was, on the tranny. And, yeah, I didn't know. And it just roached my shit. But, yeah, one of the gnarliest things I ever had happen to me. And it was just because of shitty equipment. But that's just how it goes.
It's just going to happen.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Well,
but that's the thing, like, you gotta mentally get over, like, because there's times where I would just stop riding because it's like I start thinking about my fucking that hit neutral or something, and it just if it fucks you up that much, it's getting over that mentally.
Yeah, the mental part's. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think moto is absolutely mental. You know what I mean? It's definitely physical in a lot of ways, but mental for sure. I mean, especially the stuff I'm doing is so much mental, being able to cross a certain barrier and be like, okay, I'm going through with this and I got to do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But I think it is with everything. I mean, freestyle's definitely like that. Those guys are gnarly. They're like deciding on the daily to like flip their dirt bike multiple times, which to me is fucking insane. Like,
and work
insane.
On shit. Work on sketchy stuff, you know, for like, that's when I basically backed off. I was flipping and stuff, and I was trying to work on flip tricks, and I would just come in hot or nose heavy, or you know what I mean, just trying to work on tricks.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, you know what, I'm not doing this all day long.
I totally understand. Freestyle's never appealed to me, a thing that I wanted to do. I've always been a fan of it, and I respect all the dudes. I think it's super gnarly. It's probably the gnarliest thing going on. But like, I don't want to risk myself to do that stuff when there's a bunch of people doing that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm gonna try something.
Yeah,
it's like
out gnarlying Harry Bink and Thomas Pages and
yeah, he's sick. Like him, Joshine, Taka, fucking Harry Bink, all those guys are absolute lunatics. Like doing that stuff on the day, Levi Sherwood, that dude's fucking gnarly.
I don't want to out gnarly those guys. It's all good.
No, never.
You guys got it.
I'll just I can't on the daily. If I do the most moto base jumps I can for the rest of my life, it still won't equate to those guys 1 year of doing like flip tricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just takes too much time and effort. Like those guys are doing gnarly stuff on the daily. And I mean, I do stuff on the daily, but there's way more preparation for each one of my things. So I think on the scale, those guys are going to outdo it always. And freestyle moto is the gnarliest thing that happens.
Well, it's
for sure.
It's a percentage game, you know. Like eventually you're gonna crash, and like you said, if you push the numbers up that high, you know that's what I tell people. Like I rode at a circus, and we did 8 jumps per show. My last one was a flip, but we did 3 shows a day.
Yeah.
A lot of times, 4 days a week. You know what I mean? I did 600 performances a day. Or a year, I mean. Like, that's a lot of chances for something to go wrong.
Hell yeah. You can only put so many marbles in the jar, dude, till it's full.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You got so much room.
Yeah, man. Well, shit. Dude, it's been awesome
hell yeah.
Chatting with you.
Hell yeah, you guys are dope, man. I'm stoked you guys wanted to talk and everything. It's cool to get to explain a little bit about it. I know I get so many random questions and so many bullshit comments, you know what I mean, from people. It's like it's nice to get to talk a little bit like to people and kind of fill them in on what's going on. But I'm definitely here doing this stuff for the long term, and there's plenty more to come. It's just a really slow process. I gotta take my time and do it right to stay alive, and I'm really trying.
Not just a send it situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes time to the moment, then it's I gotta sit.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought about it before.
Well, that's what's crazy talking to you because you just assume you're just like, all right, I'm gonna fucking do this, and then you find out you're a base jumper, all that shit. So I think that'd be a cool movie or something.
Yeah, right. Maybe I'll get some more stunt work. That'd be cool. That's always fun getting a little.
Fuck yeah.
Some action hero needs to jump a bike off a dune and parachute down for sure.
Yeah, right. There's got to be one.
That's how he's
It's gotta be a Bond movie or something coming out.
Yeah, it's got to be sick.
You gotta do it in a fucking Wolverine or Spider-Man outfit because everything's everything's a comic book now.
And see, that's like the full-blown going base jumper style. What I was talking about, doing the furry thing. Like I'm just not into that stuff. I respect it if that's what you like to do, but I'm not gonna die in one of those suits. I don't do naked base jumps and I don't do furry jumps because I'm not. If I died on that, my dad would be ashamed of me, and I'm just not going out.
Listen, I got one everybody can get on board with. You dress up like a big butt plug. And parachute.
What?
A big butt plug.
Get a Pornhub sponsorship.
Yeah.
That's my goals right there, dude.
Yeah, they were doing something where they were looking for people. I submitted shit.
No, trust me, I did too. And one of my buddies got the deal. It's a wingsuit. So they got him the deal, and he has like a Pornhub wingsuit. And he flies it like he's stoked, dude. It's like the sickest shit ever.
Dude, what are we doing wrong?
So lucky. I'm blowing it. I don't know what to do.
Does he get to go to like?
I feel like I'm made for that sponsorship. I don't know who else would be made for that. Like, come on, man. Like,
does he get to go to like their parties?
No, and it's crazy. Like, no, you would never think he would be sponsored by Pornhub, like ever. He's like a super clean cut, chill dude. Like, totally, they fucked up so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's wrong.
Good plan.
Yeah, look at you and look at this show. How did they skip both of us?
I don't know, dude. That's what I'm saying.
You guys are confused with sponsorship.
We'll go to like Braziers or Bang Bros. You know what I mean? You gotta like go to the
Braziers. Really fancied it up there.
All right, that's my plan of attack for next year's sponsors.
Braziers?
Yeah, Braziers and Bang Bros, right? Or maybe Patreon or something.
Dude, you could
Snapchat Premium sponsorship.
Yeah, they could be like on the Bang bus out in the desert, and next thing you know, old Bradley Slums comes just parachuting down in the background.
Right?
You just bang her, and then you get on a bike, and you just jump off a cliff. That's what you picture.
I mean, I got the van and everything, so style.
Yeah, you got the whole setup. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Drive the van off the cliff and just bail out of there.
Just standing on the top, yeah. Just bond it. I'm down. I'm not against it.
Oh, shit.
Cool. Well, hey, guys, my phone's at like 5. I think I'm going to lose you.
Yeah. I'm going to take the big nap of the day.
Nah, I feel you, Sam. It was super good talking to y'all, dude. It was fun. If you want to have me on again or something, hit me up. I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you, and keep doing what you're doing, dude. Much respect. I think it's awesome that somebody is, pushing the envelope of dirt bikes.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you, guys. I'm stoked on what y'all are doing. Keep it up, and I'll be in touch.
All right. Later, bro.
Good deal, man. See ya.
All right, see you guys.
Later.
All right, I'm signing off. Boys.
Are we unlived?
We are unlived now. I think. Wait for it to catch up. There we go. We're still recording now.
I'm not gonna say a word.
Don't say a word.
Don't say a fucking word.
Alright, hold on. I almost have us shut off. Alright, we're out, everybody, on the recorded feed.